Hello, here's our perspective lesson, and I throw in ideology there, and it's my belief that you will be a better writer if you have more than one. So let's go. This is also in our lecture notes, so there's one live link that if you go there, you can pull up and follow the link to the article I mentioned. Right. So perspective. Right. So your point of view. First off, let's just say this. It is valuable. I mean, it's gotten you this far. It's how you look at the world, and it would be crazy to disregard it, right? And it is also shaped by how you grew up, who you hung out with, what the circumstances were. Hell, history is shaping it. You're growing up in a time with cell phones, right? I grew up in a time with rotary phones. We're going to have different perspectives on things. Because you have a unique perspective, I have a unique perspective, you can't see all sides of something from that perspective. Neither can I, right? And our perspectives are benefited when they are questioned and challenged by others. We might not like it, but the truth is, right, our perspectives are limited, so it's good to be around people with different perspectives. Now, it would be fun to just say other people's perspectives, well, they're stupid, so we don't have to listen to them. Okay, no. It would be nice, but no. Other people's perspective is valuable just like your perspective is valuable. It's shaped by their environment and beliefs, and they also can't see all sides of something because of the limitations in their perspective, right? Now, they can help you see things you might not normally see. So, how many perspectives, ideologies even maybe, do you need? Well, how much do you want to know about your topic? How well do you want to be able to talk about it? How persuasive do you want to be? And to show you my point, how many doors does a Dodge Durango have? That's right, 0. The thing about perspectives is they all have blind spots and sometimes intentional ignorance, right, built into them. So sometimes it just might be, hey, I'm looking at the front of the vehicle, I can't see anything else. And other times, you know what? I don't want to see other sides of it. I don't want to admit that my idea might not be perfect. So I will ignore certain things, or I'll even twist things around. To give you an example, let's just move right into something that is topical and will probably make some people upset right off the bat, because we're not going to avoid this stuff. If we're really going to understand things, we are going to share views that some people will be like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, other people's will be like, yes, damn it. And somewhere in the middle probably is a logical or sane look at whatever we're talking about. So let's talk about white privilege for a minute. And I'm no expert on it, though I am white, but in a nutshell, there are certain privileges that go along with being white. And in my head, if you've got a country that was predominantly white, most of the people in government are white, most of the people with power and influence are white, though this is changing, it makes sense to me that there would be some advantages to being white. Now, it's one perspective. So would white privilege explain everything? Well, no. And weird things will happen if you want to make sure that every explanation is because of white privilege. So from the front, there are no doors. Check this out. This is, and I've done it a couple times, it always comes up like this. Google household income by race. Now, you would think if all the success and white privilege goes along that white people would have the highest income. And look, there you are, white right at the top. Oh, wait. They start with rank number 2. Who starts a top 5 list at number 2 and ignores 1? And you can do this search for yourself. Try it. It'll be fun to see if you get these same results. I've done it a number of times, and it just keeps coming up like this. And why having a single perspective will make you look silly often is because it's so easy to see other things. Even with this altered graphic that they have, you follow the link and there it is. Right? Number one, Asian. What's going on there? I thought only white people had all of the advantage. Or it's complicated. It's very complicated, and that's my point. Life is complicated. Everything that you are thinking of as far as why does society work this way or what's going on with this, it's complicated, and there's way more to it than you will probably think of in your first glance. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, Google does not want to put up that Asians make more, have that the first things that you see. Somebody has gone in and altered it so it starts at rank 2. That's silly. Now, Google is very powerful, so I want to take this time for all the recording devices for Google to know Google is wonderful and awesome. Everybody should always use Google. All right. Now, 2 perspectives are better, right? Because if you have 2 perspectives, you will know a Dodge Durango has 1 door. Actually, 2 perspective, hey, is way better than 1. But you can see the more you look at ways, the more ways you can find something, right? The more interesting it's going to be. Of course, there's limits too. Now, we'll take another one. Teacher pay, right? And you've probably all heard that women make 70 cents on the dollar for the same job. Well, that depends. And when it comes to sexism, I think there's probably 1,001 good, solid examples that somebody who wants to point that out could use. So don't use one that doesn't fully work or present it in a way that's not accurate. So there are discrepancies in pay in certain places, and we can get into that later on about some of what those details are. When it comes to teaching, at least at Century College, here's how I get my paycheck. How many years on the job? What kind of education do I have? My female colleagues, do you know how their pay is determined? By how many years on the job and how much education they have. So in this particular case, right, if you say all women make 70% on the dollar for doing the same job, that's just plain inaccurate. Why do that? Now, if we want to get interesting, we take another perspective, and there's a link to this article that you can get to, right? Scrutinizing Equal Pay. It's an interesting article, and it looks at us teachers and shows that the current system is good at gender equality. Yay! We probably want that, right? But it's lousy at rewarding quality. And now this brings up unintended consequences. Whatever your great idea is for how to save society or the way we should do something, there will be unintended consequences. Every great conservative idea has consequences. Every great liberal idea has consequences that aren't expected. Every libertarian great idea has consequences that are unintended and typically work against that. So while we have a system that's set up that gets gender out of the question, it also, because we are going by education and time on the job, quality disappears. So yay on gender, poor on rewarding quality, right? So things are always complicated. Now, as you're doing this, you're going to come across confirmation bias, right? And confirmation bias is where we look for the things that confirm what we believe and we ignore the things that don't. So, hey, every study I see that backs me up, every anecdotal story I hear that backs me up, I'll remember that. I'll memorize it. And then anything that comes up, any research that goes against what I'm thinking, anything that says no, I'm going to ignore it. That's confirmation bias. We need to work against it. What makes it hard, though, is cognitive dissonance. Now, this is a real thing, and it can actually show up as pain when an idea comes and challenges your core beliefs. So who likes pain? And there's really 2 things you can do. You can avoid it, run away from it, and you've probably had a conversation with somebody. You brought something up and they're like, oh, confirmation over. Confirmation over. Conversation over. I'm out of here. That's somebody experiencing cognitive dissonance and they're choosing to get the heck out. We do that at times. We're human beings, right? But you have to know that when these challenges come, it's not easy. And so when you're having a discussion with somebody, your first response might be to go, ah, you suck, or something else, right? And just know, one, probably not going to help the conversation go forward, but that's normal. We don't like challenges to our beliefs and our assumptions. But if you want to be more if you want to be more informed, you're going to have to work through that. So to wrap up, I'll say this. Again, your experience, your ideas, they're valuable, right? And they are not all encompassing. You're going to be better off if you can look at your topic, whatever it is that you're interested, from multiple views. And one of the easiest ways to do that is find somebody who disagrees with you, and instead of calling them stupid or some other name, say, what do you think? And listen. 99 times out of 100, they're not going to change your idea. You're not all of a sudden going to go, gosh, you're right. What you're most likely going to do is go, oh, there's more to it than I thought. And I have to go back and adjust what I'm thinking. Right? So, perspective. Yours is valuable, so is your neighbor's. And both of you, all of us, will write more interesting papers, have more interesting conversations, get deeper into a topic, improve and sharpen our thinking if we engage with each other, if we look for people who have different views, and instead of saying, oh, you're terrible, you're this, or running away and not even have the conversation going, hey, here's what I think. This is important to you, to me. What do you think? I'm sure it's important to you too. Okay, wow. What's going on here? So, short video lecture on perspective, and I hope this helps. I hope going forward that when you read that post from somebody else, or you get in that discussion with somebody who's different, has a different view or take on things, whether it's, they're religious, they're an atheist, they're liberal, they're conservative, they're not political, they're a feminist, or something else, whatever that is, right? Know that there's probably something valuable they have to share with you, right? And if we're all lucky, that other person too will also be aware enough to realize they have something to learn from you. Thank you.